Hello everyone, welcome to another open house. We are here at Starlight City, and it's been a while. Last time we were here was the conclusion of the building, or at least the building as far as we could with all the crashes. Here we are at Starlight Drive-In, which has been converted to the Starlight City town, I guess you would call it. And this is kind of a mix between post-war and pre-war. Mostly post-war, but there are a few things in here that are pretty clean, fairly new, that probably wouldn't fit in the post-war lore look or feel. So here we have the front gate, the front walls, or the surrounding walls. I'll go over here just a little way so you can see. And I tried to use different objects here, like the hedge. We got the bus here, different textured walls to make it look a little more scrappy. It's not exactly going to hold people out, but that's not the point. It's more for the look. So here's the main entrance, and as you can see, it still uses the Starlight Drive-In building here. The projection booth up there, this little overhang thing. So I wanted to keep that because originally I knew I wanted to build some kind of thing under this or through this and have the road come up through and maybe expand into the town as you come in. So that was the idea with this. So railing here, and I thought it fit fairly well with the roof structure here, and also gave a good outlook point for security and stuff. Because I do have a security lookout right there. We have one here in the corner for when you enter, and of course, all along there. So, and for security reasons, we have here the multi-turret protection here, the rocket launcher, and I believe that's blue laser or red laser. I don't remember at this point, but those are just a combination of the bus stop. I always liked using the bus stop as a little component to make a bunker or something like that. Just has kind of a cool look to it. And of course the sidewalk here and cinder block wall to kind of close it all in and make it appear as it's just a little fortified thing for the turrets there. And across here as you come in, there's another turret, typical sandbag, single turret, nothing special there, but building around the Starlight Drive-In structure here. So I did like this post here, holding up the roof. I wanted to try and keep that. And there was one over here, but I built around it just because I wanted to put this wall in here. So, but I did want to keep this one and throw in jail cell here. Now this sidewalk here, I did try and replace this like twice, 2 or 3 times actually, and every time I started placing down, because I wanted this sidewalk here, which I think has a nice cleaner look, and I wanted to continue that all over here where this broken sidewalk and grass bits were. And that would freeze and crash every time I tried to do that, so I pretty much gave up. So that's how it's gonna look, all a little too junky, a little too post-war for my liking. So pretty basic jail cell here, nothing really special. Not really sure where I was going to go with that, but I was thinking this would be, security office, which I did manage to build here by extending. If you saw some of the build series, this section here was the small little diner thing at the drive-in, but I took out the majority of this back wall here and just kind of extended the idea of the drive-in here. As you can see, I just extended it out, added in some concrete wall, this office security area here. And I see that I finally have some settlers showing up here, so that's good. Hopefully they don't overwhelm my system and crash it. As you can see, the frame rate is just so choppy and bad. Anyway, so here's the security office. Closed in, security gate here, door. and making use of the standard, computer console, sections that you can kind of build together. And these little corner bits help a lot. If you flip them around backwards, you can kind of create a good space filler, I guess, that looks like a big computer terminal here. The work desk here, and the open window to deal with people coming here. So I'm not really sure exactly what the function of this is, just other than security, I don't know, maybe information, obviously weapons and whatnot, which would lead up the stairs here to our security outpost on the roof section of the Starlight Drive. So the railing here, good vantage point of people coming in. Like I said, we got the lookout here, the guard post. Also railing on the backside to look into the town. And that would lead across here. This is the settlement beacon. And the little tiny security office here. Very post-war look to it, but extra weapons and a good vantage point of the people first coming up the road there, and good angle there of the front gate. So that's a little security area here. And I was going to build up there. I was going to make a nice little secret room, but I was not able to get to that at all. It's pretty much the way it was when you walk in with the game. This poor fellow here is still there, so we'll let him rot in peace. Come back out and head back down this little flight of stairs here, back to the main entrance and the overhang. And I really wanted to use this because, like I said before, I wanted the roadway to come in. I wanted to come in through this and just have the town open up as you come out from under that. So that's what I was going for with this here. Like I said, there's the flight of stairs that go up to the security area. So as you come in, this it's like a little trading post for people coming by, and I used, as I've mentioned if you're watching some of my Red Rocket, this build especially, using a lot of this grounded mod. And I can't say enough about this mod. It's so great. It just has all these little piles of dirt, weeds, grass, mounds of dirt, rock, sidewalk, and some curbing stuff that I use a lot, and you'd be surprised how much it comes in handy. Like here, just to, either clean this up or hide things, because right here I didn't want the curved, sloping little curb type things that they had at Sanctuary. So I wanted, the standard squared edge curb. And then these little mounds of dirt and weeds just helps either cover stuff or just a more lived in look. So I really like that mod because I'm using it a lot, as you can see. A lot of odd detail here in this, and this is really to hide stuff in a way. A lot of times I will do that, and that's kind of the fun of the building and not really knowing what you're gonna do or have a plan. And in this instance, it was just figuring out a way, because this structure obviously is a level and the road is at a slope, and we got the stairs here, so I just wanted to throw something interesting in there rather than just a straight wall. So added this little thing here, the air duct, to look like a air conditioner or some kind of air vent. And this is the top of a computer console. cinder block and then some ceiling air duct stuff to top that off. So don't really know exactly what it is, but it just kind of looks cool, gives it more of a used finish look and a little more interesting than just a straight wall. And this little archway, I just wanted a arch to come into the town. I think originally maybe I was going to make some kind of sign up there, but the PlayStation is pretty lacking when it comes to mods and making signs, and I didn't want to overuse the neon letters like here at the hotel. Which brings this little section here, once again, another idea to build a obviously level house and then the sloping ground, and another opportunity for different textures, curb, some stairs, more of the dirt, building into this archway metal or steel beam here, and just adding all these little things that in the end give it a pretty used, detailed look, in a combination of the brick, the concrete here on the street, and the curbing, the metal siding here. Just gives it interesting color and texture, I think. So the idea of this is the hotel office for the hotel here. Originally, I was just going to have the hotel, and this was just going to be a player shack or something, like a house. I thought, why not have one of those hotels that has the office off to the side? And it gives a purpose for this little tiny shack. So this is the main hotel office where you would book your stay, and got a little decoration, not too much. This is what we have for what it is. So this is built just off of the structure that is the Starlight Theater House / diner thing here. More curbing and sidewalk pieces and the different textures here. And that would lead down these stairs to the back here. And this created a kind of cool component that, once again, it's just as you build, you just kind of make it up as you go, and you wind up having these interesting problems you need to solve, like this wall coming to an end here. What am I gonna use here at the end, which is this circular pillar piece, which I thought finished off this edge here pretty good. And then that's a desk there holding back the dirt, and some curb pieces there just to finish it off in the standard stairs. But I just thought it looked cool, gave it that back alley, throw in some chain link fence, and just got a cool look to it. So that just was created as I then began building this hotel. And like a lot of these buildings, because I was using the sanctuary roads, and I wanted to come in and have a circle area, which would be the market, and build shops around the circle. At least that was the plan. So by doing that, if you watched a lot of the building videos, the problem is all these buildings, all these structures, businesses, houses, whatnot, they all wind up at odd angles. So as you can see here, this hotel has kind of a unique front that is angled. So it will angle with the curvature of the road here. It looks cool, but it's also a real pain when it comes to building, because this angle here, you just need to make things work, and without the Place Anywhere tool, there's no way this would have happened, because it is just, if you look really, really close at a lot of these edges, angles, and things, it's not the cleanest looking thing. But from a distance, I think it looks pretty good. And I wanted to use this great sign here for something, especially as you first come in. As you first come in here, that's like the first sign you see. Hotel, good place to stay. So that was the idea for that. And I wanted a lot of these sidewalk pieces, which the sanctuary roads have sidewalks, but those are too clean, and I didn't want the little grass strips in between. And I did want to try and create almost a Old West style walkway for each of these shops, or most of them. So that's what I really wanted to do here, and you can see that shows up here, the Old West thing at least, with this little front walkway area, waiting area for the hotel. We'll go in the hotel here and check this out. This is just a little waiting area, and of course the door going over to the office. So originally this was a little tiny check-in desk, which I started to build, and it looked pretty cool, but I realized that the office is right over there, so why do I need a check-in desk here? So I took that out and just put in this waiting sofa here, and tried to create a small little hotel with little rooms that you could stay. A seating area here in the hallway, little bathroom for the guests, one bathroom for all the guests, and essentially 4 rooms. That's not the smartest placement of the door, I have to say. Might have to, but nothing special, just a bed. That's other stuff I need to watch out for too, when the doors kind of clip into the furniture like that. Oh well, I never learn. So all the rooms are pretty standard, just simple room to stay hotel. Once again, I would like to deck that out more, but if this is just a hotel place to stay, there wouldn't be much in there, I don't think. So, and we got these little room numbers here, which I think is from the retail theme. I think these are little posts that stand up, but if you place them into the wall, it kind of gives the illusion of these number tags for the door. So that's our hotel lobby and the basic rooms here. And up the stairs would be the suite, the more expensive room number 4. And this would be, for people who have the caps to spend. And this is a much nicer room, much nicer bathroom, your own private bathroom, by the way. And that overlooks the garage here. But I just wanted to make a fancy room here and close this up as one high-end room. And then that would also lead to kind of a hangout area where the drinks are. I mainly put the drinks here because the sign said something about drinks or something like that. This would be more of a common area, I think, where all guests would be able to use this. That is the hotel. And once, like I said, if you look closely, the build is not the cleanest looking build. These angles, especially this corner here, really proved to be a problem. Hodgepodge threw in what I could to try and fill that gap, because it was a unusual angle, but also it's not a full wall, it's kind of a half wall. So I'd use a bunch of components to try and fill that, and it not the best looking, but it did do the job. We'll go back here to the main trading area, or that's what this was intended to be. It's going to make a sign right here. Never got a chance to do that. The idea was you'd come in here and this would be, kind of a junk trader that anyone passing by could do some trading or buy some supplies and things like that. Not as stocked as I would like it to be, but I think you get the idea. And then back here would be a bunch of junk that maybe whoever owned this place would either work on or store back here that maybe didn't have the space in the shop to display. You know, it's just another way to kind of fill this back area here, which is built up with a lot of the stuff from the Grounded mod and the hedge here to finish off the wall, and then more junk wall here that continues around the property here. Then up here would be the owner's, place where they lived. This I tried to build up and fix up 3 or 4 times, and it kept crashing, so I don't know. It's weird as you build. You find sometimes there's certain areas that just will crash every time, and I never know why that happens. I never got to finish this room off like I wanted to. I really wanted to fix this up really cool. Have a lot of junk in here, because if this guy was running this trade shop, I think he would have a lot of clutter, a lot of junks, a lot of collectible stuff. So that was going to be the plan for here. And this gate here was going to lead down this path, and because I did put this big radio tower here pretty early on in the build, because my idea was this was going to be another radio station, and this was going to be the trailer that had all the radio equipment and where the radio hosts would stay, live, and also broadcast. Originally, my inspiration for this was a little radio station that I made way back when I had a build in Sanctuary. I really liked how that turned out. Wanted to do the same thing, or at least the same approach in this trailer, but never got around, to actually getting it done. But that was the inspiration. So we'll come back out here to the main road, look back into town, and this little clump of junk here, just put in here to cover up this curb little triangle thing from the sanctuary roads, which was a little too clean for me. I didn't want the grass, like I said before, so I put some signs, a couple trash cans, and this main post here with signs on it. Give it that, welcome to the town, go here for this, go there for that. So here's our clothing store, little fashion of the wasteland area, and just wanted a place where people could come and buy clothes, so just created this shop. Got a bunch of mannequins to display some of the outfits, and just tried to create something different, something cool, using some of the colored lights here in the back, as you can see, in this little front piece here, so you don't really see the lights. So that's the clothing store, and all these shelves, these helped out a lot. These were pre-built shelves with things on them, and I really like those mods that have those kinds of things, shelves with tons of clutter on it. If there's any mod makers out there, feel free to make all kinds of shelves just packed with stuff, because it really helps give the idea of a stocked store without the hassle of trying to place each one of these one by one, which I would love to do, but all of my builds never allow me to do that, because it gets to the point where all the crashes, I would never be able to do that. So this allows me to make the store look full by using some of these pre-built shelf things. So I would love to see more of those mod-wise, at least for the PlayStation. And why don't we head here, and as you see when you first walk in, you got the hotel there on the right, and a nice welcoming bar here where you can hang out, grab a drink when you come into town. And this is very pre-war. This is definitely crossing the lines of pre-war here. Very clean, very nice, almost nightclub vibe to it. I just wanted to have something nice like this, get a nice little bar that you can imagine would be a really great place to hang out and just enjoy a night at Starlight City. And this bar was time consuming to build, especially this roof section here, this curved front. I wanted to use some of these components. So this front entrance had a curve to it. And once again, I'm building around the circle of the sanctuary roads. So this bar had to be almost a half circle shape to it. So that's why I wanted to use this front entrance. Also, it gave it a cool, balanced look. It just looks cool. So that's why I chose that. And it does look pretty good, and had the stairs here. All these little details here at the bottom are all ways to kind of camouflage and hide the curb from the sanctuary road. As you can see, just a tiny bit sticking out there. It helps cover it up, but it also, while trying to figure out ways to hide things, it also creates pretty cool architectural ideas or solutions in this case. And it just helps the building process, I think. You know, when you just aren't sure what to do and you just got to find ways to cover things or solve, problems. And most of the time you wind up thinking of something and it turns out pretty cool. Kind of like this did. So all those pieces kind of placed together, it worked out fairly well for the bar here. And as we curve around town, the hotel here, and here's a issue that you come up with building around the circle with square buildings, is the angle of this. The next building here, if you built one, would kind of cram into that hotel there. So I just started doing small slivers of filler, I guess I would say. And these are vending machines, a wall with some advertising signs, just some junk. So that creates a little triangle wedge here that allows me space to then start this next store. And that's what I did here. Just after the bar, we have this little triangles wedge of dead space before we start building the noodle shop. So to fill it up, I'm just kind of, trying to think of interesting things to shove in there that, would work. Vending machines, arcade machines, Nuka-Cola machines, posters, advertising, things like that are good little filler things. I use the corrugated tin wall and the wood wall just to separate and give more texture rather than using the same wall. And I definitely didn't want to use brick because the hotel was brick too. And now that I notice it, I do like these capital city street lights, which help at night too. And I like the big solid base that these have. So you can see I've used these throughout the town where I can to light up these streets here. And it kind of ties into this steel beam arch thing here. So that's why I started putting those in. So as I was saying, these wedge things, these wedge pieces allow me to continue the curved sidewalk, I guess you would say, as the road kind of snakes its way through town. And then into the first shop, which is the Super Salon, much like the one in Diamond City. And this one isn't quite finished. This really started crashing towards the end as I was building this. But the idea was this was going to be a nice little salon where you could come get your haircut. Going to put some mirror walls here, more salon, clutter and things like that. A couple haircut chairs here that are actual functioning haircut chairs here. So that was the idea for the salon here. And it just chose the pink lights to tie into the sign, but also to add different colors So at night when you come into town, we got some blue lights here. We got more of the green light here at the clothing store. Just wanted to mix up the lights that you saw as you come in at night. That would lead to our next stop, which would be a new location of public occurrences that is branched out here to Starlight City. Typical reporter space. And I'm not sure if this would be a second location for Piper or not, but it kind of looks like, something she might have here, for reporting. And of course the printing press, the door going out to the back alley where you could, burn all kinds of documents if you needed to, or just trash in general. More junk, more paperwork, and just little tiny details here in the back to continue the whole town vibe. We come here to the Noodle shop. Once again, building around the edge curvature of the roadway. And that's mainly because I like these road pieces. I like this concrete, and I like the circle that you're able to build with these roads. I wish there were more pieces. I wish there were actually more separate pieces of these roadways. That would be really cool. But we got the Noodle shack here mainly because I put this giant thing in the center of the sanctuary roads because I thought it filled the space well, and back here it has this section coming off which went down into this other triangle piece here. So I thought that giant thing fit well, and that also had the Power Noodle sign. I think you can see it. Yeah, right there. The Power Noodle sign was still on there. So I thought, well, maybe I should build the Power Noodles close by. So that's why I built it here, and wanted to make this kind of a takeout counter type eating establishment where you could get your Power Noodles. And using the curved pieces here to kind of finish off this section here. Angle the countertops there to fill that circle and continue that curved look to it. A lot of junk here, mainly just for looks, but kind of helps fill out and keep the lived-in, used city town vibe going. Not too detailed in here, but pretty basic. This would be the noodle bar. As we continue down, our next would be Chem Head, where you get all your chems. This was another small shop to fill this area here, which I wanted to load up with all kinds of chems that you could come and purchase, trade, or whatnot. So that's all filled up with a lot of, like I said, the pre-made shelves with things already on them. So it made it a little easier to fill this up. I never would have been able to do that with all the crashes that I had. So it also had the place where the owner or proprietor would stay. Pretty simple room and pretty simple business here, but that's pretty much all you need for the Chem Head store. And that's located right next to the seafood buffet, all-you-can-eat buffet area here. And this was an interesting build here because this, you needed to build along this curve, and it curved in and then curved out as we went around this corner. So this was an interesting build, trying to use this front area. And as you can see, all kinds of objects to make this front look interesting and not just really plain and simple. I thought it turned out pretty good. Once again, here's one of these light posts that also just looks great as you're coming into town, and it also allows you to attach a sign here, like drugs for the Chem head. The all-you-can-eat seafood area was mainly because I really like this sign, this Oyster Bar Shenley's sign that I remember seeing, and I really wanted to use that in some way because it looks so great as you're walking through town. It just pops up, sticks up in the air, and you're just like, what's that? So I wanted to make some kind of seafood establishment that was selling some kind of seafood. So that's the idea behind this. A little indoor seating here. So the idea is you would, get your buffet here. A little bit of a grill, so the chef can do some grilling. Some supplies for cooking the food. And that would lead out to an outdoor eating area as well for more seating. And I thought this turned out great. I used this roof component. I don't remember what mod this is from, but it's this long section of roofing that I think is taken from Diamond City, maybe. I could be wrong. But anyways, I really wanted to use this. I like this junky roof looking section, and I thought it would work great as a covering for the eating area here and tie it into the whole seafood thing by hanging a lot of the fishing themed floats. What are those things called? I can't remember. But hanging those up just as a decoration to tie in with the seafood buffet and the whole seafood restaurant thing. Like I said, detail here in front that I think looks great. Nice inviting place to eat. So if we tilt over, once again, we have another triangle wedge of space I needed to fill. So this just became more of a wooden wall, maybe, that you could hang posters or things like that. And nothing really special about that other than it just allows the end of this wall to allow the curve of the road and the start of the next shop, which is angled there. So it's this empty triangle space that you need to, fill with something. So, and that would lead to the bookstore. I always wind up putting a bookstore in my towns, mainly because of, once again, the pre-made mod shelves full of books, which would have taken forever if I tried to place individual books to fill this shelf. But it's a good, quick way to fill a space with a shop or a store. So a bookstore always works, and it's also a good place to put a lot of your magazines or comics. The idea was, just a regular bookstore where you could get some pre-war books that people have found, and that's pretty much it. And it's built around, once again, this giant piece here has this big steel beam here and this giant thing here. So I had to figure out ways to build around that and this piping here. But I figured in this town, much like Diamond City, just make do with what you have and your surroundings and build around it. Once again, the curb detail just kind of cleans off this edge here. This would lead to another shop. I don't know what this was going to be, but a very small shop nonetheless. And then behind that would be, I was thinking, where the owner of this shop would stay. Not exactly the nicest place to stay, but in the wasteland, it could be worse, I guess, right? So just a little sleeping area that someone has built in this back little area. And this, once again, was just a way to fill the space, because it was empty space that I guess I could have closed off right here with a wall. But I decided to keep building and maybe fill it with something interesting. This tucked back here might be a cool little area to sleep or stay in. That would lead over to this little raised area here. And I wanted to make some smaller shops up here and raise up the sidewalk just to keep it interesting, since everything else is actually, ground level here. So I wanted to build this up, and that's just a combination of the road pieces, the sidewalk, railings, a lot of components, and the short half wall brick pieces here to finish it off and allow me to inset these stairs here. Just looks kind of cool. Little tiny surgery center, or you can get your change your face, change your looks. And then this was going to be another shop here. No idea what that was going to be. Another shop here. And I was going to do another one here, but just never got around to finishing that. A different look, to this, to have it raised up as opposed to everything else just on the ground. Back here, my idea was this was another area where people would live, stay, and little apartments here. Little one bed area, another bed area, little cooking area, hangout area, and that is just off of the shops here. So I'm thinking maybe some of the shop owners would live back here, hang out here. Why don't we head over here to the ammo and weapons store? This I wanted to really load up and have your one-stop ammo, weapons, supply store, and really load it up with whatever you would need or want. Plenty of ammo, plenty of things to buy and trade, and I also wanted to have a gun range in the town, so I figured I'd add that to the outside of the gun store. Little gun range here. And once again, I used the long sections of roofing, almost hallway type sections, I believe from the Diamond City. Don't know what mod that is from, but I just always wanted to have a gun range in one of my towns. So the idea was maybe you could purchase a weapon, buy trade a weapon. You could work on it or upgrade it and test it out here at the range. We'll go down to the end here through this side door, which will take us back. And once again, I just added this in here. This little airplane section works great for an overhang roof here. And I was filling the empty space behind all the shops. And I also thought it might be good to have access to the back of the gun range here. Probably not the safest thing to have steel beams all the way down the range here, but in the wasteland, I guess there aren't any regulations or rules, so anything goes. But we do have the dummies here for targets. It'd be awesome to have a mod that actually maybe did something when you hit it. So we got the grounded mod, mounds of dirt here with the sandbags, for the backing of the gun range. The back of the shops there, not too finished off there. Never got around to finishing that off, but I figured the hedge would block that. Looks like I need another hedge right there. But you get the idea here with the gun shop. Plenty of ammo, plenty of supplies. So you would definitely want to come here to get your weapons, for sure. Here we have a restroom, once again, a triangle wedge that I needed to fill with something, and I figured that would be a good spot to put in a little makeshift bathroom. Nothing special, nothing fancy, just pretty much does the job. And this shop here, as we continue around the circle, again, more detail, different texture on the flooring here. But this was going to be more of a, not necessarily a flower shop, but more plants and things like that. At least that was the idea. I never finished the roofing on that, but this was going to be the plant store where you could buy your plants or, fertilizer, things like that. And I also thought this little piece here fit well around the curved roadway section here. So that's the inside of the circle shops, which is hard to do because this being a tighter circle, you wind up with a lot more empty space wedges, as we're calling them, to fill. But it also makes it much more interesting when you're walking through town, all these angles, and it's just a little different from the usual squared off building section, type things that I might do. And we're going to continue on here at the donut shop, just off of the seafood buffet area. And as I said in my builds, a lot of the spots around here, like if we go back here, I have pathways going all the way to the back area here, and I wanted to put those in throughout the town. Just if you wanted to get to the back, it wasn't only one place to do that. We needed several, which we have here. Over here. And we have another one here right by the donut shop, which also leads to the back area for the donut shop. But let's go check out the front of the donut shop, or Slocum's Joe. My initial plan with this was it's going to be the typical donut shop down below, but upstairs was going to be maybe the owner of the shop would live up there, which is why I put in the stairs here going up, which was going to be an apartment up here, which just leads to this fake door. Mainly because I knew if I started decorating the interior of these rooms upstairs, I was going to fill up my build limit way too quickly. And that was going to be the plan. Like, all this was all going to be second level store, really third if I could. I think it'd be really cool just to have it really tall, just kind of build up and go from there. But this one, I just closed it off and just gave the illusion that maybe it was a livable area up there, or who knows, maybe it's a storeroom at this point or extra storage. But it gives a good front area to put the sign there, which is a combination of stuff. I think that's a kitchen counter there to, use as a backing for that sign there. And a lot of this is from the Creation Club, Slocum's Joe. Creation pack thing here has all these components. The donut display, the counter pieces here, all with the Slocum's Joe theme. This was just to be a basic donut shop. Some extra storage back here, and once again, this leads out to the back area, the side walkway, and out to the back. I wanted to take advantage of the Creation Club, Slocum's Joe, build pack, or whatever you want to call it, just because it had so many cool components that you could put together and create a nice storefront or business, which is what this turned out to be. And right across from that would be Starlight Meats. Always got to put in a meat store. And once again, here we are with the triangle wedge of what to do. So this was a combination of the entrance to Starlight Meats and also this back walkway staircase area, which was going to lead. Actually, originally this walk area was going to be a secure path that would eventually lead up to the penthouse there. But that wound up not being the case, and this leads back to the cemetery, which was basically a filler at this point, just to fill this space with something. So we got the cemetery. Not sure if that makes a whole lot of sense because it is full at this point. So hopefully no one else, passes away, because you're going to run out of space, put them. But I thought, why not? Let's just put a little cemetery back here to fill the area. Drop in some hedges to cover some ugly stuff and walls. Like this little thing sticking through. I think I was going to, put some boxes here to camouflage that, which I do a lot, so if something sticks through the wall, you don't always have to panic and say, oh, that looks terrible. A lot of times you can just stack a few boxes there, or maybe put a barrel, glitch that barrel right up against there, and you won't see that thing anymore, but the barrel looks, like it would be there, just junk in the way, I guess. Anyway, so that's what this triangle wedge was, the path there and the entrance here to Starlight Meats. And Starlight Meats basically came about because of, I don't know what mod it is, but they had these hunks of meat, hunks of beef, whatever, hanging on the meat hooks. And I wanted to use those in some kind of butcher shop or something like that. So I came up with the Starlight Meats thing and wanted to create this meat locker refrigerated display area, which actually I use the elevator door. Let me go close that. Thought it was a cool idea to use the doors here as the doors to the display case for the meat, where I guess, customers could order their meat or even have it cooked. The rotisserie cooking area there, which is a combination of a bunch of stuff, the rotisserie cooking thing, which haphazardly inserted into the fireplace, and then the burn barrels here with the animated flame, which always looks good. Stone fireplace from one of the mods. Some of the curb section from the grounded mod up front there to finish that off and make it look kind of nice. It doesn't look as nice in the interior here, but I did plan on finishing that off a little more later, but from the outside it looks pretty decent. I threw the horse up there just to, as the meat mascot, I guess, but I think I was going to replace that with something else. Maybe one of those big, statues of the bear or something like that we have on the PlayStation. Not too many options, but maybe right there would have been cool. So that's Starlight Meats, if you ever need your meat supply. That leads here to this little diner, the Drumlin Diner in Starlight City. Nice little seating area up front. And this, once again, was interesting to try and squeeze into this area because, as you can see here, the ground starts sloping up. And that created a problem when laying in this area, because I did want to have this diner here. I wanted it larger than it is, but I think it works better as a smaller little diner. Put a door here that goes to nowhere because, like I said, the ground is sloped up so high that there wasn't really anything I could do back there other than kind of close it off, but maybe give the impression that there is a room back there, like an office, manager's office. And back here in the kitchen area, because of the sloping ground, you can kind of see the dirt back there. All this stuff here is covering that dirt, which sticks through the wall. These boxes are covering up that dirt there, you can kind of see. Same with the counters there. Made the cooking fires with the barbecue pieces, the burn barrels inset into the kitchen counter, which is lowered down a little lower counter height wise, so the cooking area is more on the same level as the normal kitchen counter. Once again, very junky because they don't really have clean versions of these kitchen counters, which I really wish they had, in all the colors. New pre-war clean kitchen stuff to build with, but gotta make do with this, with the limitations of the PlayStation mods. And I wanted to create like a little fan blower thing for the smoke. This is, I think, like a furnace duct kind of thing, and more kitchen counter just inset and raised up on the wall. Just gives the illusion of the, vacuum vent for the cooking area. So that worked out pretty good. A little backsplash of color with the metal or steel, metal, whatever you want to call it, retextured walls. Once again, red to go with the drumlin diner motif. Some cooking supplies and the front register. A little waiting booth for your takeout food, I guess. And this little thing here that sticks through. Nothing I can do with that. Kind of out of place, but not really sure what else to do with that. Maybe add, some kind of vent or something. It does stick down quite a bit, but it's there because I really wanted to use, as we come out here, I really wanted to use this section of roof. Thought it looked really cool up top and worked well for that. The only problem is it's not made to be used, I guess, in this way because of these little sections that hang down. It works fine here because I have the pole there, so it kind of looks like it's part of the design. But in here, it creates an issue here with this thing sticking down. Luckily, you can still walk under it. It's pretty close, but what can you do? You got to make do with what you can. So that's the Drumlin Diner, another food establishment here in town you can eat at. A lot of stores, so this pretty much was going to be more of a market type area if you couldn't tell. Another Diamond City, or something to rival Diamond City, which leads to our next shop, the armor shop. And this was another shack that just kind of came about to fill the space between the donut shop and the warehouse there that eventually led to the Penthouse. These stairs going up there in this back corner area because the Sanctuary Road ended here. Because at this point it started going into the ground. As you can see, the ground starts going up there, so I had to end the road pieces here. So I put the stairs going up at the end of the road and put in this curved little area. I just added the curve because I thought it looked, it's just more interesting to look at as far as ending this road rather than just a hard 90-degree angle. And I thought it turned out pretty good just using the old vanilla, concrete blocks here. So that would lead up to the armor store here, which is kind of a split store in a way. You have the display side with all the armor and things that they make for sale. And then on the other side is the actual workshop where they're making it. And I really wanted to clutter this up a lot, make it look like a really well-used work area. But for the most part, I think you get the idea. And then the cash register, I guess, front station here, splitting the two sides of the store or of the establishment. And a nice little shop for people to buy the items that they want or custom order stuff that can be made here in the workshop area. So that's the armor store. Why don't we head into the warehouse here? This is the big warehouse. And I just used the 4-leaf packing sign because it's one of the few signs available on PlayStation in regards to mods. The signing, there's not a whole lot of signage to use. I really would love more signs to use, because I would have loved to really clutter this up with a lot of, make it look a little more busy than it is. But so that's why I used the 4-leaf packing sign. As we come in, the idea I had here was just a typical warehouse kind of thing where you could order whatever they make here. I don't even know, or what they make, just random stuff, I guess. I never really thought about it too much, but it would be a working warehouse where they would make items. This would be like the office area. Orders, maybe you could pick up your orders here. Someone would be working there. Extra stock coming off from the warehouse area, which has a door leading into the back warehouse area there, where they would come out, stack it up here, or give you your order. And a little waiting area here. So why don't we head out here into the main floor of the warehouse where all the items are made. So we have the conveyor belt here where everything would come out and up into the showroom or the order area. And the machine making it, the sorting. And another office in the back here. The concept was make the items here, go out, and you could sell them up front, or pack them up, or pack them up here and ship them out. So this is kind of the back loading dock area. This is a trailer that was going to be more storage, more junk. Typical loading dock vibe going here. Especially with this here. Figured with the roads here. And I'm not sure if this was a pre-war structure or a post-war. I'm thinking more pre-war, where maybe this was a loading dock where they could unload stuff. That's what this crane would unload the truck here up into here. Once again, another sign out here, just because I could use it. And that would lead up to another level of storage here, shelves, and a little work catwalk to maybe, dump supplies into the sorter there. But just a way to fill this warehouse. Just wanted a giant warehouse, and I was going to make it much more usable, as in realistic machinery there to make all different kinds of things, but just ran out of space and realized to do all the different things I wanted to do, it was going to take up quite a bit of space. And as I said while I was building, the whole reason why this warehouse is here, or the penthouse, I guess, I wanted to build a penthouse up there using these stairs. And these stairs are the original ones that were left when I scrapped the movie screen. So when I scrapped the movie screen, I saw that these stairs were actually still here, and I thought, oh, these are kind of unique. You don't really have anything like this in the building objects, so why not use it? Because it goes all the way up. So that's why I built the warehouse around the stairs, which was a hassle. If you saw any of the building episodes of that, you would see that it wasn't exactly easy, mainly because the levels of the stairs here, each time they level out, are not the same as the height of, say, a warehouse wall or just a regular wall. So I had to really custom build around this and make it work. And that would eventually lead up to the penthouse. So why don't we just head up there? We're there. This would have a steel door, just look like nothing. And I was going to finish these walls off. I really like these warehouse brick walls, but I don't like how they're not finished on the inside. I really wish they look clean and nice like they do on the outside. So I always wind up doing a double wall, using two walls, one on the front, one on the back, just because I don't like the way it looks like this. So really wish they were just one solid wall, but oh well, can't have everything. So once again, these are still the staircase from the movie screen. Added in some railing here. Pretty good view of the town there. And kind of merged in the stairs here for the railing. It doesn't look too pretty, but had to have some kind of railing on the side here. And these work the best, and that would lead up to the penthouse here. And I wanted to have this little area here rather than the door right on the edge. So I created this little porch, I guess you would say, for the door, just by building into the main area here. So if you can see, let me close the door here. It's kind of built in from either side. So, and it also creates kind of a cool space for this to get kind of tucked back there, or the couches to tuck back here. Once again, Art Deco walls and doors and pillars. A lot of these Art Deco pieces is from a mod called Workshop Forgotten Objects by Tech9420, and I believe they spelled it with one T. This mod has a lot of great Art Deco building pieces that I've been using a lot, so if you like this style, then you should definitely check out this mod. And wanted to create a nice penthouse with a view, nice place to hang out, and definitely the best place in Starlight City, apartment-wise, with a full kitchen and an island. This is from the Neon Flats Creation Club thing. And normally I would like to spend my money, I guess, on the modders rather than, some kind of money grab from Bethesda. But I really like the furniture pieces, and there's very limited furniture objects or things like this, like the Neon Flats, Art Deco apartment, things like that I like using a lot. So yeah, pretty much just limited on the mods with the PS4, so that's why I do it. And the rock walls, I overuse these. I like these walls. I like the color. I like the texture. I got to come up with a new design element rather than that. But in a very small little workplace for weapons, storage, place to work on, plenty of ammo, little desk to work on, some cameras, keeping track. Who knows? Maybe this is the mayor of the town, lives up here. And also a VR bed, which is actually hooked up. And this is from the Creation Club virtual workshop. So you'd be able to travel to, different areas to build. But I'm thinking for the use in here, this is maybe some kind of VR travel chair where you can travel anywhere you want or do whatever you want. That's why it's here in the apartment. Let's go up to the second level here, which is more the main bedroom area. Nice view as you come up. Another little hangout area. TV chair. And the bedroom area with a nice little skylight. A little bit of a custom bed and counter situation going here. It's going to add some more decorations there, fill that up with maybe some things that have been collected in the wasteland over the years. Nice little bathroom here. Shower, toilet, sink, has it all. But I think this turned out pretty cool, pretty simple for an apartment. And also the outer patio area, which has a nice view of the wasteland there. And of Starlight City in your little workout gym out here. Why not? Not looking too nice from above, but you get an idea and you get a good view of the shops. So that's why I wanted to use the circle. So all the shops were around in kind of a circle market area. At least that was the idea with that. So why don't we head back down? I definitely think this apartment or suite or penthouse it turned out pretty well. Kind of a long walk to get out of here, and I'm not sure why it goes through the warehouse, but that's just the way it worked out. No real reasoning behind that, other than maybe the person in the penthouse owns this warehouse. Why don't we go with that? That sounds good. So head back out the warehouse here. And why don't we head back here? This some more power here. I think to power the to power the VR chair, I installed this generator here and just added it in as part of the town. This is another little filler here. It's the pre-war bunker, or post-war bunker, I guess, and added in some of the computer console, some power things to cover up this post section here. Didn't cover it all up, but covered majority of it up with these little extra pieces here that stuck through the ceiling. And I'll show you what those are here. But as you can see, just more of like a power room, storage room. And that would lead off here to another security tower here. Outlook, guard post, whatever you want to call them. But as you can see, the penthouse is on these 4 stilts structure things, which are actually stadium lights. Actually, they're not the stadium light. They're something from Diamond City. I can't remember what mod they're from, but I thought they worked great as, sturdy looking posts, and just put all those up and started building the floor around those. And those come down to the ground. They basically stop about there. So I put the big, cinder block things here as more of like a foundation base for those. And as you can see, that goes right into this, which is why I put those machine components there to kind of cover up the fact that the steel beam goes all the way through. And once again, the wall goes all the way around the whole town. Not necessarily to keep people out, because there are sections that aren't that difficult to breach, I guess you would say, but just overall, I wanted to surround the whole town, keep it all closed in as one. In this little back area here, I kept pretty much empty throughout the build because I needed areas to grab things during the construction with the Quappa tool. Sometimes I need just plain dirt to actually grab stuff. Otherwise I start grabbing the wall I just placed or this and that. So that's what this area was. It was empty, so at the end I decided to fill it up with some stuff, like some junk cars, added some more stairs here going to the back of the seafood. How would you like to eat that? That's where your seafood buffet is coming from there. Wonderful, huh? A greenhouse area where all the food could be grown for the settlers that are here. At least that was the idea. And more of the back of the shops here. Here's the original workbench. This is kind of a location marker. You can kind of see the top of the Starlight projector house there and the workbench here, if that helps place where things are located. But I basically just left this here and worked around it, and I think it kind of fits in with what's going on anyways, because this is the back of the Atom Cat's work garage, which we'll go to next. A little bit of the junkyard vibe. Wanted to do that with the stacked cars, dangerously held up with just a wooden pole here. And this is the back of the hotel as you first come in. So why don't we go to the Atom Cat's garage. We'll cut through here, cut through the waiting area and the security office. We saw that. So we're back here up front to the front gate. So the idea concept here is when you come in, if you wanted to work on your power armor, get things done, modded or modified or something like that, you come here to the Atom Cats work garage where you would essentially pay them to work on your armor. And that also doubles as a Atom Cats hangout up there. But down here is where all the work would be done, here in the garage. And over here, another little work area, but also office area. Maybe keep track of all the orders or work that's being done on the power armor. I like doing the Atom Cat builds. They're my favorite faction, I guess you would say, which is something I had done before. One of my previous builds, I have an open house for that. I'll put the info or link at the end of the video. And I wanted this build to have some kind of Atom Cat area. Same kind of thing, just an Atom Cat's hangout / garage or business, I guess, too. Wanted to really fill this garage up. Got a good start before things started, crashing. It still has a good vibe of a working garage. We'll go back here and go up to the clubhouse. And my idea is this wasn't a complete Atom Cat home. It was more of a hangout at the garage. So there's not any sleeping areas, but we do have this little clubhouse area up here where they could hang out while working or when they're not. That was kind of the idea behind this, is to let them have a little hangout area right above the garage here. They even have a little back area here. And I said this is maybe a waiting area for people waiting to have work done on their power armor. So that pretty much concludes the lengthy tour of Starlight City. It's a lot to cover. It's pretty big. One of my larger builds, at least that I was able to get somewhat finished. It would have been nice at some point to really load this whole town up with, settlers, people walking around. And I wanted to do that for the tour here. But I tried a couple times just, dropping in random NPCs, and that definitely froze up the game every time I was walking through to give a tour. I think just all the movement of them overloaded my system, which is already maxed as it is. As you can see, the choppy frame rate is not looking too good. So pretty much a ghost town here, but it gives us more room to give the tour, right? So hopefully this open house tour gave a good look of the town as a whole, all, rather than in little chunks, during the, 26th episode of this town. There's a lot of little details throughout the town, that I wanted to try and do as I was building, and would have loved to do more, but this is where we're at, and this is where it's going to stop. Thanks to everyone who watched the whole building of this. It was pretty lengthy Let's Build It series. I had no idea it would stretch to 26 episodes. But as far as this open house goes, I think we've reached the end of it. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for stopping by. And until next time, keep building.